I'm here to discuss an important topic. Hi, Peter here. Just thought I'd give you an update on the BMW engine replacement I did recently. Wanted to show you where I am. I've been chasing down a lean condition in the engine, which I think is related to the valve cover gasket. Here I am, I have the valve cover off, and I'm assessing. What I'm seeing is now this is at the point where it should be replaced. You can see, comparing the original and the new gasket, that the ridges in the rubber are much more pronounced in the new gasket. These gaskets are just a few of the gaskets on the engine that create a barrier between the inside of the engine and the outside of the engine in order to keep the vacuum within the engine. The interplay of the moving parts within the engine causes the interior chamber to have a vacuum in which it is sucking air through the system and using it according to the design. What happens is, if you have a leak anywhere within the system that's supposed to be enclosed, then you have a problem where more air is coming into the engine than it was designed for. Thus, more air in the system equals lean mixture. These are the gaskets I removed. This is very, very hard, and this was so brittle that the pieces broke between each other. The new gasket is so much more pliable. You can see it actually sits a little bit above this surface. You would expect that this surface would be flush, but what happens is this pushes down into a cavity and it seals down here as well as along here. I've decided to use the old grommets for this project since they don't seem as problematic and they have a more durable position in the assembly. Besides the lean code on the car's computer, I began to suspect that there was a problem with the valve cover gasket, as I saw some oil that was in this connector. I was prompted by the computer that there was a voltage condition on the rear bank of the exhaust system. And so removing or separating this connector showed that there was oil inside. I thought to myself, how could this connector be affected by a breached valve cover gasket when the connector is actually above the gasket? Except, looking at the clip, you can see there's a place where oil can get in. So any oil coming out here would go up through here into the connector that had oil in it. Getting there, I've arrived at the point where I've hand tightened the 11 heads for the nuts here around the outside of the valve cover, and the 4 interior nuts, the nuts that have the connection for the electrical components as well. So as you see here, there are 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and besides the 4, there are 11 nuts around the outside. When you reinstall the valve cover, make sure you pay attention to the routing of the vacuum hose and the wires for the exhaust sensors. They have a place, there's a place along here, and there's also the clip itself. So the clip itself will hold the wire harness, and that goes out into the back here. The wires and vacuum line come around the back of the engine, and there's this small trough here that will lock those in when the vanity cover is placed on top. Here are the coil packs. I'm always excited about coil packs. They seem like such a elegant technology. These are aftermarket coil packs from my original engine, and I decided to keep them when I did the engine swap. I'm impressed by the BMW design of this connector that holds the harness connectors into place. What I can see is there might be a small bit of oil in the spark plug holes, which indicates that there was some escape around those gaskets. Putting the valve cover vanity cover on is pretty simple. It goes over the square piece of rubber. I finished installing the vanity covers, and I'm about to install the air plenum on the car. This plenum is easy to remove and install, and it allows the access that you need to get to the back of this engine. So you need to remove this, or else it's going to be very difficult. Fortunately, there are only 4 bolts, Torx head, that you use, and that should pop out. There is a point here where cables also need to be released. I'm done with the project. I've cleared the codes. The engine is running. I hope I don't see mean codes in the future. Thanks for watching.